for the bad right now. I have no idea. That's what I mean, like I've never been into supercars because they're just never on my list of cars that I really want to own one day. It's just, they just don't.
Come on! Alright, engine's out. We're gonna take the tranny off, put it on the stand, flip it around probably, take the pan off. I might not actually do that today. So I got the engine out was probably the big thing. I'm just watching some Formula Drift. Round 4, I believe. Or Sunday. Alright, so probably spun a bearing on the dyno. I don't know if it's the rod bearings or if it's the main bearings. My guess is rod bearings. Reason being is the only used part I have in this engine, I bought these rods used. They had like 300 kilometers on it. The guy melted pistons. And I never checked to see if the rods were round or out of round. So that's the only thing I can think of. On the dyno, we lost the alternator strap, which at the same time is your water pump. So I had no water circulating through the block. So the water got really hot in my expansion tank that's there, started steaming. So he stopped and he lost all power. He did a run, it did, I think it was 280 wheel, 280 torque, something like that. It was like always the same. And then he did a run, 0 power. So he's like, okay. He adjusts something and then it dropped down to 230 and he was like, what the hell? So what he, and then the car wouldn't start because it shut off. So we found out, oh, the alternator belt came off. We boost the car, bam, started knocking. And this was just after it overheated. So I'm thinking he did like 3-4 runs with no belt. The oil became like water, no lubrication, and the rods just ate up. The other thing that happened is the turbo's like almost seized. My guess is when the bearing material came in, it just chewed it up. So I'll have to get a new center cartridge. I'm gonna get a new exhaust housing. The manifold here, the Force Performance one, is for sale because this winter I want to build a top mount manifold with a T3 and a V-band, no more 5-bolt thing. And then we'll also have the wastegate up here going out the hood. I don't know if I'm going to keep this transmission for this upcoming summer. I might just sell the whole tranny and bell housing the way it is. Probably keep the clutch. I don't know, I got a couple options I'm thinking about now that I have time, since we're not going to rush to make it a hollow bash, because I do have a spare crank. The crank is probably fucked. The rods I don't trust anymore. I mean, we'll see. If the rods had no markings in some of the mains, then I know that maybe, because I bought standard bearings for the crank and oversized bearings for the rods to have more oil clearance in the rods. So we'll have to, once it's torn apart, I'll be able to find out. We also have like an oil leak. I don't know, seems like it's coming from here. Maybe not. I don't know. There's definitely a bit of oil here. When I flipped this up, the flywheel looked dry as fuck, so I'm hoping that there's no oil inside and that the clutch is still good. Worst case, I'll just get a new clutch disc. Proper sizing this time, since it was a little oversized. We'll do a new catch can. And here's the big thing, is I'm sick and tired of all these water pipes and all this shit. I think I'm just gonna do a rear rad setup. So we're gonna take off the firewall, we're gonna take out the X bar inside the car. I would take out the X bar in the car, the firewall, and we make like a half window thing. And here would have the radiator right here, with the expansion tank somewhere there, and the surge tank, and go electric water pump. So we would only be dealing with basically the crank pulley, the alternator, one belt with a really small belt, the water pump pulley would be deleted. This would be deleted, so no more like janky looking thing. We can even make like a manual tensioner just to tension it all the way, always in this. But like, if we only have the alternator and the crank pulley, we know for sure those two are on the same plane. I think what happened is when I put this bracket back on, it's not ribbed either, but I'm guessing this is just too much offset, and when the belt was big, it just like flipped off a little bit. But yeah, delete the water pump pulley, and we'll just have a pipe going to the back of the engine. So we'll have a pipe going from the back of the engine here, and fitting to fitting with the new water pumps. And here we'll just have like they sell like an adapter with AN fitting, or I'll probably make it with we'll add a bleeder here. So AN fitting to the AN fitting to the back, and then we won't have the need for this, or what was the other pipe, this thing. We're gonna delete like a bunch of different stuff, like different piping that's in the way. The intake, I want to chop this off here, this off here. And then here's the big news is I'm thinking I want to sell my wiring harness with the ECU that's built for a rear-wheel drive Evo 4G63. It would probably work also with a 2G DSM, since they also have this kind of Hall effect sensor for the cam. And then they can use their crank sensor, or they can buy the Kigley kit. I highly recommend the Kigley kit, it's amazing. I also want to get a new front cover. The Evo 8 front cover is actually one piece. Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of stuff that I want to do. Or maybe I'll just get a new middle one, and we'll do like what my buddy Mark Sleep, he like welded in aluminum, because this is aluminum, this is plastic. The Evo 8 one is one piece, all plastic. I just don't like having my timing belt exposed. These engines are interference engines, and just get a little piece of rubber wraps around the belt, which is why people do the balance shaft delete, which I did. We're gonna have to take apart the oil pump and clean it out. Hopefully it is still good. Worst case, new oil pump, new six bolt straight cut gears. But I'm doubting that it's gonna be scored up. It should be good, to be honest. So here's the big dilemma. Do we stick the 4G69, or do I get a 4G64 block? The 4G64 has a 6mm taller deck height and a 100mm stroke crank, so it'll still be a 2.4. And I could use these pistons, which are 6mm shorter. Put the 6mm shorter pistons in the 4G64. I would have to get the 4G64 bored out to 87mm, and then I could get 6mm longer rods and make it a 2.4, it's called a long rod 2.4 liter, which makes it able to rev, I believe it's 85 or 9 grand. This one would have been limited to 75 to 8,000. It makes the piston a lot lighter. There's less wear on the piston rings, and it just revs nicer. The only difference is you have a 6mm higher deck height. We're gonna have to get a different timing belt. For some reason, this pulley is kind of wobbles a little bit, so I'll probably get one more pulley just to be safe. And yeah, I don't know. Get a new center cartridge, new exhaust housing, maybe like a .82 AR. This is a .63. Made insane boost. Like the spool was like instant. I think full boost was like 3,000 to 31. And like we only revved it to 7, I think, or 75, and it made power all the red lines. So either we stick with the same size housing, or I buy both housing. What I could do is I buy both, and then we could test them. They're only like 250 bucks each. So, and we'll buy the ones with the V-band downpipe. So you just unbolt the 4-bolt T3 flange, and then put the V-band on, and then everything else is the same. One thing though is I might change the piping to so one thing that might be different is the new center cartridge might have water included, since this is a Turbonetics one. Right there, they do sell a Garrett one for a TO4E, that is water cooled and oil cooled. I'd rather just have oil cooled, but if I need to run water, I will. It wouldn't be too different. It wouldn't be too hard. Would have a hard line coming off the back here, and then we would have a hard line coming off the bottom to this side. But yeah, so one of the reasons I would sell the wiring harness with the Megasquirt V3 is I would want to redo it. I want to redo all the wiring in the car, strip the car completely, make it super nice. And the big reason is this ECU you can't set any safeties if you want. So I would want a safety for, like, we're gonna add an oil pressure switch, we're gonna add an oil temps sensor, knock sensor. I would like to go drive-by-wire and delete all the cable. It's a mess to work with. And with that, we'll be able to like play a bit with anti-lag. I am thinking maybe doing that Ryan Turk fresh air spool valve, anti-lag style. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. There's a lot of things I want to do, but the main thing is going to be rear rad for sure. I just want to simplify the engine bay, make it nicer. Maybe bring the power steering pump under the dash somewhere, so it like declutters the engine bay. I'd have to see if I'm allowed to do that. But yeah, like, it happens. Like, it sucks that it does. I already found a couple 4G64 blocks at the scrapyard. I would just need to go pull the blocks, and basically we sandblast that block, and this time I would get the engine builder to assemble the bottom end and make sure everything's good, because Matt did a really good job. It's not Matt's fault. I'm guessing it's just the overheating issue and the different tolerances, and maybe, yeah, the more tolerances on the rods. So maybe when the oil was really hot, it was very watery, and it didn't lubricate the way it should have. The other thing is maybe the rods were out of round. And if I'm changing the rods, I might as well get a 2.4 liter 4G64 and go long rod 2.4. It just makes sense. So I would just get the block, and we get rods, bearings. I already had all my ARP stuff I can reuse. They say you can reuse the head gasket. I might, probably won't, since it's like $100. New turbo manifold. Yeah, maybe shoot for 600. I don't know. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I'm kind of sad. If you guys want to support the channel in any way, send me a message, send me an email. It's bossmaster44s. I'll have to find it. I'll put it underneath here at gmail.com. Just hit me up, send me some support, follow me on Instagram, Sport84, send me a message on Facebook. Like, I'm bummed. And all the guys that wanted to see me drive this car with this engine set up and was stoked for it, I've been getting a couple messages, and like, I really appreciate it, because I'm in, like, I don't know what to do. Like, kind of sad about it. But and now it's like, it's not just the motor and the bearings and this. It's like, oh, the turbo's messed up. Oh, maybe you got oil in the clutch because the rear main seal is leaking. Maybe, I don't know. Like, I guess that's what racing is. But like, whenever I post stuff online and like videos, and I make it seem like everything's cool and everything, but like, I'm just a guy like you. I'm struggling for money. I have a house. I have a second kid on the way now. My dad has stage 4 cancer, so that gives me a bit of anxiety. And I'm really sad because I wanted to give him a ride. You know, he's never taken a ride in my car, and he called me this morning and he said, you know, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. You'll bounce back. Like, already that getting this car together this year was like a big challenge because of the money issue, and I got it running and I got to drive it just a bit and do a couple of donuts. It was already like a big win for me, you know. And now that the engine let go, I'm sad, but like, I told my dad, like, hey, now you got no choice to live till at least next summer, because I gotta freaking give you a ride. Yeah, crazy. It's crazy. But to all the haters out there, it's like we should have stuck with the JZ or oh put a Honda K engine and stuff. I'm like, I gotta be me, man. And to me, it's like Evos and Evo motors and 4Gs and all these stuff, and I gotta stay true to me. I've always loved the Mitsubishi stuff, and that's what I want to do. Like, you can do you guys. JZ, oh, you can get seat time and blah blah blah. Yeah, but you know, everybody has a damn JZ in their drift cars or an LS, and I just want to be me and be unique and do my thing. And there's some growing pains to that, especially when you don't have much money. But the guys who do support me know the work I put in and the effort. And I really thought I had every base cleared with this engine. Like, I did the research, I figured out all the oiling issues, the valves, everything. Like, I thought I had everything figured out, but everything was going so well too in the dyno. It sounded amazing, and blink of an eye, your season's over, and all the money you put away to put in this motor to try and get out with your buddies, it's over just like that. And yeah, I'm just gonna chill out, take it easy, watch some Formula Drift, see if Adam LZ can win past top 16. Since he has a top 16, a bye to top 16. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for the support. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.